Head to Knoxville, don't be late. Baker's Live, it's gonna be great. June 5th and 6th, mark your date at Dollywood, we'll celebrate. Meet Baker and more cool friends. Live show magic that never ends. Come to Dollywood, feel the vibe. With great people there, it's gonna be a ride. Rides, fun, and meet and greet. Baker and pals, the crew's so sweet. Get ready for laughs, cheers, and thrills. Knoxville's the place, it's giving chills. Meet Baker and more cool friends. Live show magic that never ends. Come to Dollywood, feel the vibe. With great people there, it's gonna be a ride. June 5th and 6th, don't miss the fun. Meet Baker and friends, it's second to none. Baker and friends, it's second to none.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Wherever you are, wherever you may be. I have gotten some criticism over my accent, so I will try and speak slowly so people out there won't have a problem understanding me when I speak. Thank you, Tina Muglow, for making me aware that having a foreigner with heavy accents, I only have one accent, I put on the southern, really sucks. It's difficult to listen to. I like him. Well, thank you. But I can't listen for extended periods of time. I am sorry, Tina. Isn't it funny every time you cover Aiden Turtle Boy, your comment sections gets filled with people who always have constructive criticism. It's like this guy. Cowardly B-word defends his boyfriend Tadpole Boy. My boyfriend is Valhalla, thank you. I don't sleep around. Queen of the coward is you. I am not a queen, I am a man. You are up there with the other grifters. Yes! Finally, I reached Pleven's level of grifting. Hey, how's everyone doing? And are we having a wonderful day? because starting the day off with idiots filling up your comment section really makes me be happy. What in the 0.25 Nigerian Scottish accent is this? Well, apparently, if you live in Boston, you can't understand my wonderful English with my slight Danish accent. Some people really needs to go sit on a cacti and enjoy their life. Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we will be dual streaming. Well, we won't be dual streaming. We will be covering the Aidan Carney hearing. I don't know if Karen Reed is going to be there because it's about their communication, SMS, text messages. And after that, we will go back and cover the doctor who just touched his wife's neck and then she ended up in a pond with some stones in her pants. So we will be covering both sides. I see a lot of Melody Little's cupcakes. Welcome, cupcakes. All of my viewers are either cream pies or muffin tops. So you are in a basket of great baked goods. And I hope that everything will work out today. I just saw one of the good things. Oh, Karen and Turtle Boy will be present on Zoom. I just hear from my wonderful people in the background. But we just heard that Dr. Scory Bello will, because she is a witness, will be there to testify in what she determined about the death. Because she couldn't determine if it was an unaliving, an accident, or whatever it was. That's a small win from the defense. It means that the state can't keep it out. They will have to remedy it while she's on the stand. Remember those texts from Proctor? You couldn't even get her to call it a red rum. Amateurs. She's funny enough. I sometimes get called a misogynist, but I'm nowhere near the level of Michael Proctor and his affinity for calling ladies whack jobs. But I would say she needed to find that because yesterday, I don't know if anyone saw the video I made this morning, she made a ruling that went against her own ruling with Dr. Russell. It's so ridiculous what Beveridge is doing. Dr. Russell, one of the most qualified experts we've ever seen on any case, couldn't testify unless it was very cordoned off and she was only allowed to just talk about this little specific area. Now the weatherman can come in and talk about how hard the ground was. And he's there to prepare the way for the neurosurgeon who will then tell you, well, smacking your head on the ground will cause your injuries to be like that. Which is opposite of what Trooper Paul said in the first trial. Remember, he said, Paul O'Keefe was standing with his arm extended, got hit, then he flew up into the air, must have made like half a turn, slammed his head on the curb, flew back up in the air, and landed. And I'm still sure that in the 911 call they say, we just turned him over, so he must be landing on his front in the grass. Are they now saying he landed on his back? Because, again, it goes against what Trooper Paul testified in the first trial. If anyone can make any of it make sense, it's not me. That's why I'm a YouTube grifter and they are getting paid the big bucks in Canton. We do have a courtroom. And Techno Stacy, been a member for 6 months. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Sun's out, it's great. I did chest and triceps today. Wonderful day. And the lovely Iris, finally I can understand you. You understand me just fine. And Zachariah, I already did that one. Jemima says, please take a second and hit the like, subscribe button, then share with your friends. Please do. And Dave said, to the grifter, thank you. And Unbalanced says, for the grifting fund, thank you so much. And Jemima again, don't forget the swear jar funding. Thank you so much. And over on Valhalla's channel, Nicholas says, love you, Val. Stay awesome, brother. Vice Squad rocks, not rots. She's been my member for 2 months. And thank you so much, Tracy Walker, for gifting 20 memberships. Fun-sized. AJ Red Sox. Zach Suk, maybe? Deborah Clare, Susie Lee, Kelly Lilly, Gian Grits, Guy Vermectin, I haven't seen you in a while, Carrie Carter, Tracy D, Lisa, Gloria Holm, maybe? And it jumped on me. Kelly Lafferty, Gally 71, Grammy 86, The Goodmans, C. No Mill, Lauren, Marie said, were all gifted memberships by the wonderful Tracy. Thank you so much. And Cindy Lou Hoo Hoo. Oh, so you're a grifter? I had no idea. I thought we were being entertained all the time. Love you, Baker and Jamie. Well, I do have my grifting shirt on, as I always do when we are covering the Karen Reed stuff. And for those of you who are over on Valhalla's channel, we kind of got a little bit surprised that this hearing was happening today because we were talking about it yesterday. It was supposed to. Yesterday they talked about it was just Aiden going to court. But then I woke up this morning at 4:30 and saw that they had a plan. So I set up a stream, and me and Valhalla is normally dual streaming. And then I went live and did a morning stream at 5 a.m. My time. So it'll have been midnight your time. And Valhalla was streaming. And I think Valhalla might have been keeping his fluids at a normal level. So if he shows up, he shows up. We have audio too. Suddenly you're popping up on my feed again. It's a good day, and yes, I've been sub for a while. Well, Psychology of 9, I'm glad you found us again. YouTube makes these weird determinations of who you want to follow, who you want to unsub from. It's annoying, but that's the way it is. AJ, the expert, is looking for you. Zach, if you are the mod that timed me out on Melody Littles last week, be nice, Zach. We have guests here today. Yes, welcome all you cupcakes. We hope you enjoyed your time. 7 months already, how time flies. It does, Skybell, and it's when we have good entertainment. OnlyFan isn't spinning. It's a Friday. She is preparing for the big show tonight. Remember, you can follow OnlyFans for only $100 on her own site. I don't know. Well, it is actually Karen's hearing today because it's about the text messages between Karen and Aiden, where Hanky Panky believes that he can prove they had that conspiracy to harass witnesses. If you saw yesterday, Aiden and his lawyers filed a motion to impound all of this because he claims that certain super grifters, Plevin, KP, and the wonderful Caffey Daffy, the greatest FBI agent since Herbert Hoover himself, all had special and early access to information. Remember last week when Beverly Canoni said, we need to protect this case because there's too many leaks going on, and she was minding that on the defense. But then he filed that motion yesterday, named these 3 people and said, nope, don't disclose anything. So my comment section has been filled with people calling me all sorts of names because they don't like Aiden Carney. Is this going to be with the male judge or Bev? On the paper. It's with Aiden's judge.
Thank you.
OnlyFan, I think she might have sprained something, so that's why she's a little still today. Hey, Brandy Capulos. Welcome, and I hope I can do just 10% as good as Melanie Little.
I would have too.
Well, 1% and I'll be happy.
Should I just sign in?
Have your my allowance for the day. Thank you, Tim Swoop.
Send you to Zoom, or should I just shut up and let you do what you're doing?
Your guest rinsed me.
Yes.
What guest? I do know Zach doesn't, but sometimes you can be happy. Maybe he can go out and find a fish or something. Hey, Teacup Kraken, how are you doing? Let me just, I am a little behind. I'm way behind. Has anyone checked Bev's reviews? They are atrocious. Yes, I saw them pop up yesterday on, this morning actually, on the Twit, and went and looked at some of them. One of the things you can say is, are they real, or is it just a media thing? Kind of like if you go and look up D&E Pizza, the mediocre chicken and parm is also getting a lot of reviews. Tracy Walker with 50 Broken Baker membership. Thank you so very, very much. And I can't even find where they begin. Miss Mandy reacts. Jason Smith. Terlin. Tisha. Janelle. Calico. DSN. Jen D. Nikki. There's so many, and I think some of them will even go to people who are not here because they are hanging back. But thank you so very much, Tracy. Hank the Snake? No, Hank the Weasel. He has a weasel face. Hey, Java Cat. Yes.
And by the way, Chris, I couldn't find you.
Oh, you are so generous. Thank you so much.
Enter your participant ID followed by
Hello,
pound.
Charmaine.
Otherwise,
Cape
just
Town.
press pound to
Oh,
continue.
I need to get a hold of.
You are in the meeting now.
I know a
There are
person in-
13 participants
Yeah.
in the meeting. You have been added to the
Hey,
waiting
Miami.
room. You cannot talk or
Sebastian,
listen until
why
the
do
host
Bev let the
introduces
state get
you.
away with everything? Very easily because she's heavily biased. I don't believe that corruption is quid pro quo. She gets something from something. I just think she really despises the defense team. I think that she is heavily biased against Karen Reed.
You
I
are
thought
muted.
it helped a little bit when they put on Special Pro Sector Brennan because I don't think she likes him either, but she's right back to her old ways. And she is so heavily biased that in a fair world, which this isn't, she wouldn't be presiding over this case anymore. But she can't be removed,
You are unmuted.
so Karen will just have to do whatever she can to sway the jury. And remember, court has nothing to do with the law. That's just what the lawyers and the judge is arguing. Look at the jury interview. They didn't understand half of it. They were just, well, we don't like her face, so we have to find her guilty, and she was drinking. So they have to sway the jurors. BXC, maybe? Nice to be back on a Baker stream, ready to see what shenanigans will happen today. Got my blood pressure meds on the ready. Well, if I know Special Pro Sector Brennan, you will need them. Yes, very, very awesome. Thank you. Where did I get my awesome shirt? As a grifter, I sell them in my merch store. I designed it myself, so I don't know if my merch store is linked anywhere. But someone started calling me a grifter, Plevin, and I thought, well, words are just air. So just to show that it doesn't hurt me that you call me a grifter, because everyone who's on YouTube is grifting in some form or fashion, because we would love to have you come and watch us. So I made grifting
You
shirts.
are muted.
And I had a friendly mod send me a few grifting caps as well. I don't sell those.
Right, but it's not have to have audio going out of the monitor. Can you record it with the monitor?
Hey, Helene T, welcome back. I saw you this morning. Thank you, Suzanne Bassinger, for becoming a new member.
You are unmuted.
Well, it seems like they have the Zoom working. Figure skating is for girls and football is for reserves
You
who
are
can't
muted.
spell. Thank you, Brandon. Karen should get the bigger courtroom being used in Turk's trial. That room is empty. Yeah, we will be covering the Turk trial later, but the problem with the big courtroom is half of the jury can't see the witnesses because they have that weird little table. We saw it for the first time really yesterday, and it's
You
a
are
small little
unmuted.
school table, so they can't see the witnesses in that courtroom.
You are
Hey,
muted.
Melanie Schuler. Will Brennan be there today? I don't know. I think he will because he is handling every hearing, and it is Karen Reed. It's not Aiden. It's the docketed under the Karen Reed case, so he should be there. Thank you, RJ, for gifting a Broken Baker membership to Daniel Hall. Hall. Thank you. I need my glasses. Witness box is a riot. Only when it's a small choppy, guys. I don't think they can move because it's on a small little plinth. So it's really stupid the way it's set up. If Miss Reed doesn't take the rap, there's a lot of people with some questions to answer. Oh, if she's not found guilty? Yeah, but we will never find out because that investigation will never ever lead to a conviction of the real culprits in this case. That's sadly how it is. As they said, he's a cop, nothing's gonna happen.
You are unmuted.
Hold on for a sec.
Just putting it up there.
Just do it one more time so Tori can hear.
I hopped on my spinning bike that I bought just for the Karen Reed trial so I can rage bike while in live court. I need one of those under the table bikes because the Karen Reed trial last time
You are
lasted
muted.
for so long. So yeah. Thank you, Beth, for becoming a member. They can if the Turk trial can see witnesses, but the witnesses can't. We know it because it was the defense that pointed out that the jury wasn't able to see them for the last time. And if you don't know what the Turk trial is, it's a urologist who unalived his wife. He claims it was an accident. He just barely touched her neck and then she was choked and he had to toss her in a pond, as you do whenever you have an argument. Come on, go up there so people can see it. And that case started yesterday. It's in the same courthouse. They actually mentioned, don't think about the Karen Reed case and don't wonder why there's so many people here. But we will cover that when Karen's and Aiden's hearing is over. I will switch over to that stream so we won't miss anything, even if we will be slightly delayed. But in the Turk trial, they are out seeing. I think they were going to his house today to see where it happened. So we will be fine. We'll catch up, and it's only half a day. I don't know why Canton can't make people stay in court, or Stoughton. You know the difference between biased and biased, so your English is better than 50% of Americans. Thank you so much, Charlotte.
Welcome to Zoom for
Well,
government.
he claimed they were
Enter your
arguing
meeting
because
ID
they were in
followed
a
by
contentious relationship. I'm not saying she's a gold digger, but and he claimed that he was on his knee begging for her to come back to her or something. And then she slammed him in the face with a rock glass. Again, glass everywhere in Stoughton. And then he stood up and just did this. And then he went into fight and flight mode and had to chuck her in a pond with the rocks in her pants. As you do. Yeah, they're going on a field trip today. Is anyone else wondering how they'll handle listening to Hank in the new trial? I thought that Lally was bad, but Hank makes me scream in frustration. Java Cat, can you turn off that music? I'm gonna get hit by a... Yeah, but no, I can't with Hank. I can't with his little weasel face. I can't with his mannerisms. I don't know what's wrong with that guy. And I don't know why they chose him. We were talking about it, me and my mods today. Is he there because he want to be the next DA, or is he there to kind of make sure that Lally won't be tainted if they lose this case, and then they have to protect him by putting someone else in front, so we don't have to spend 8 weeks talking about what, if any, snow was on the high tops while the band played Sweet Home Alabama as the last song at the waterfall. I don't know. And I have it exactly the same way, Pro Hawk. I'm sitting here thinking, could we at least just have Lally back?
I think two people might be in the same room, and that might be causing it.
Thank you, Alexander's Room, for becoming a YouTube member. If you don't know, well, Alexa's, I don't know why I call her Alexander. Alexa's Room is also a great YouTube channel that does videos on the Karen Reed case. Worth checking out if you want a little sass and a little snaz. What happened? Hey, Catastrophe K8. Yeah, heavy day drinking, I think, will be my solution. Did they say, Miss McCabe, that she and Karen were driving around? Her husband claims they were home and the call from Karen woke him up. Yeah, the McCabe said that he woke up and he could hear Karen screaming, Jan, 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 in the phone. That's what his testimony was.
Do we still have the echo? No.
It's a little better.
Do you have an echo?
It's there anymore. It's gone.
Okay. All right, I'm all set.
I saw a stream yesterday where a lawyer explained why Brennan might be there. It was a brother counsel stream. I saw brother counsel and his brother. So is that brother counsel? I like brother counsel. He took the leaf from his mouth and spoke.
I'm all set.
He spoke with no restrictions. I like the way he talked about Beverly Beverage Canone. It sounds like Jim, yes. I think the only thing we're talking about today is...
Make sure your cell phones are off and put away for me, please. Thank you.
I'll see if I can boost it if they are... I think it's only about the text messages between Aiden and Karen, as far as I can see. Tougher than diamonds, rich like cream, stronger and harder than bad girls' dreams. Make a bad one good, make a wrong one right. I don't know what that is. Thank you, Sammy Spills to Tea, for 5 Broken Baker memberships.
Judge, this is 22117 and 23313, Commonwealth versus Karen Reed, and separately the Commonwealth versus Aiden Kim. Can I have the parties identify themselves?
Mr. Clerk, hold on just a moment, please.
Sure.
I need to plug in because I believe we have parties on Zoom.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's also my understanding that we're only here on case 0117.
That was also my understanding.
Okay.
Thank you.
And do you have the Zoom identification link for me, please?
I do. It's right.
Thank you, Plan Fan. Happy
Thank
Friday.
you. No passcode.
Karen,
Thank you.
Karen is factually innocent. Exactly. Candace, you're hiding too well. Yeah, brother, counselor. He was. Yeah, I can see you, but I might not catch all of the messages. It's going a little fast. We have 1,000 people here. Brennan is in the house. Isn't it magical that you people in Massachusetts pay for a full DA's office and they have to have
Okay,
two
Mr.
special
Clerk,
prosecutors on this one?
the case and identify the parties.
22117, the Commonwealth versus Karen Reed. Can I
Don't take money, don't take fame, don't need a credit card to write the Dane. That's the power of love. Thank you so much, Brandon. And thank you so much, Tash, for the gifted.
have counsel identify themselves, starting with the Commonwealth?
Good morning, Your Honor. Hank Brennan for the Commonwealth, relative to docket 00117.
Good morning, Attorney Brennan.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Robert Cosgrove. I'm the special prosecutor on the Aiden Kearney cases, and I suppose for purposes of this motion, I'm the respondent to the Rule 17 motion.
Good morning, Attorney Cosgrove.
Good morning.
Hello, Your Honor. Timothy Bradel for Aiden Kearney. I see him on the Zoom for the record.
Good morning, Attorney Bradel. Good morning, Mr. Kearney.
And Mark Federer for Mr. Carney. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Attorney Bradel.
And good morning, Judge. Attorney David Yannetti for Karen Reed, who is also present on the Zoom.
Good morning, Attorney Yannetti. Good morning, Ms. Reed.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elizabeth Little, also on behalf of Ms. Reed.
Good morning, Attorney Little.
Thank you, Teresa.
Anyone else here that we need to recognize before we proceed? Doesn't seem so. No. Okay. Folks, we are here on two related matters this morning. As an initial matter, we are here because there seems to be some confusion concerning my order of March 20th on docket 615 on the Commonwealth's Rule 17 motion.
Because it's Aiden's judge. I don't know why, but it's because it's Aiden's communications with Karen Reed. That's why it's Aiden's judge handling this, as I understand it.
Also, we're here because there has been a motion for protective order, docket 636, filed by intervener Kearney, and so we will hear that as well. So with regard to my order, let me start by saying this. Going back to Attorney Brennan's affidavit filed in this case on March 5th, 2025, in support of the Commonwealth's motion for records, Attorney Brennan, you specifically stated that, quote, it's been represented to the court by defense counsel Bradel on behalf of Mr. Kearney that there's an implicit long-term mutual assistance and mutual defense agreement between counsel for Mr. Kearney and counsels for this defendant, Reed. On the basis of that sworn statement, I specifically inquired of you, Mr. Brennan, at the hearing on this matter last week, do any of the three categories of documents and data that the Commonwealth seeks by the Rule 17 motion include communications with Mr. Kearney and counsel for the defendant in this case? You replied, no, these would be privileged. So based on these representations and the court's belief that there were no privileged materials implicated by the Commonwealth's motion, I ordered that all communications between Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed during the time frame in question with regard to these three articulated categories be produced. However, subsequently, the special prosecutor in Mr. Kearney's case, in possession of the documents in question on March 26, informed the court that, one, there are in fact a substantial number of communications within the documents and data requested that are indeed communications between Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed's counsel. And moreover, the special assistant district attorney in that case took the position, contrary to the one asserted by Attorney Brennan in this case, claiming that those communications are not, in fact, privileged. So my order did not specifically exclude from production communications between Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed's counsel because the court was told there were no such communications, and in any event, the Commonwealth acknowledged that they were privileged. So my first question is to you, Attorney Brennan. Respectfully, did I misunderstand you, or perhaps vice versa? In other words, I understood that you weren't requesting the production of any privileged communications to wit, communications between Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed's counsel. And as such, if that is the case, and we did understand each other, I can simply clarify my order for Special ADA Cosgrove that those claimed to be privileged communications will be excluded from the Rule 17 production, and we can move on. If that's not the case, I'd like to hear why.
Sure. May I?
Yes, you may.
I think there are two separate issues regarding privilege. One is whether Mr. Kearney's attorneys, Mr. Betterow and Mr. Brado, have privileged communications, and separately, Ms. Reed's attorneys' communications with Mr. Kearney. When Your Honor asked the question, I believe we were referring to Mr. Kearney's attorney. And so what I understood from the motion filings is that there were no privileged communications between Mr. Kearney and his attorney in those phones. And so there would be nothing privileged to protect.
Okay, I specifically asked, does this include communications between Mr. Kearney and counsel for the defendant, Reed?
I don't doubt that you asked that if that is what happened, but that wasn't my answer to the question because perhaps I was focused more on Mr. Kearney.
So you confirmed today that we misunderstood each other?
Or I misunderstood. I'll take responsibility for it. But I was trying to be protective of the attorney-client privilege between Mr. Kearney and his attorneys, Mr. Brado and Mr. Betterow.
Okay. Well, we all agreed, counsel, that those, in fact, would be privileged communications without question.
Of course.
So let's turn to, if you would, the second issue, which is one that you raised in your affidavit. You specifically raised that question in your affidavit, docket 547.
Undoubtedly. I do not believe there is any attorney-client privilege between Ms. Reed's lawyers and Mr. Kearney, because those communications are not covered by attorney-client privilege because none of Ms. Reed's lawyers are attorneys for Mr. Kearney. I pointed out that in an earlier hearing, and I have the transcript of it, it was December 17, 2024, when there was litigation in Mr. Kearney's case, docket 0313, that there was a position taken by Attorney Brado. And he began by telling Judge Krupp, well, there's a joint defense issue, Your Honor. And Judge Krupp asked, so it would predate any jeopardy to Mr. Kearney. And then Mr. Brado responded, well, it's a little more complicated because we know he was under investigation along with Ms. Reed without any resultant charges, so we would contend that does not fall under the umbrella. After more questions by the court, Mr. Brado answered, we don't have an agreement, but there's been an ongoing long-term implicit mutual assistance and mutual defense that I myself have been part of for a long time, and Attorney Betterow has as well. And Judge Krupp said, I really have no idea what that is. And so inevitably, there was no establishment of an attorney-client relationship between the two. Inevitably, and after that, Attorney Betterow attempted to file an appearance on behalf of Ms. Reed. And in that, there was a supplemental motion, and it's docket 549 on 0117.
And docket 549 contains Attorney Yannetti's sworn statement that there was no joint defense privilege between Ms. Reed and Mr. Kearney.
Exactly. And so I think I had the assumption there was no attorney-client privilege. If I misspoke, it confused the court. My apologies, but inevitably, there is no attorney-client privilege that I understand exists. And so I do not know what is in these phones. I have not asked. I don't want to know unless it's pursuant to a court order. But based on the affidavit of the search warrant, and based on the pleadings in this case, and there's two very important pleadings, I may have mentioned them to the court on the last date, but those pleadings, which were filed publicly by the Commonwealth, and it's docket number 53 relative to Mr. Kearney's case 0043, in that pleading, it is set out by the Commonwealth's pleading that there is, in fact, information demonstrating that the Reed team provided Mr. Kearney with information, documents, videos. It's suggested that at times they would suggest angles for him to use it or to refrain from using it. And it provides a number of examples, including an example on 8823 when they're asking for information, Mr. Kearney, so one of the attorneys.
Attorney Brennan, I'm going to ask you to pause right there because I think we've reached a point where I have a threshold issue that may require either Bishop Franklin protocol or some inquiry into the nature of the privilege that may or may not be asserted by Attorney Bradel. And so I think it's appropriate at this time, Attorney Bradel, that I turn to you, not with regard to the protective order, but with regard to the issue of whether your client claims a joint defense agreement and related privilege to communications between himself and attorneys for Ms. Reed, such that I need to limit the scope of my order of March 20th.
Judge, thank you. We do not assert such a privilege. I said in a much different context a long time ago that we had been sharing information and talking to each other and helping each other. And I said that there was an issue. I didn't say there was a privilege.
Okay.
So we are not asserting that. There is no formal agreement. There's no formal privilege. I said it was an issue to be looked at the time. That's all I said, Your Honor. And in terms of this, Your Honor's order, I don't even know why we're talking about this, Your Honor. The ostensible purpose of the Commonwealth's request was to attempt to show consciousness of guilt on the part of Ms. Reed. So why would communications to other parties besides Ms. Reed have any relevance? And in fact, in your order, you just say that the only communications that are on the table here, so to speak, are communications between Mr. Carney and Ms. Reed.
I'll stop you right there, Attorney Bradel, because you raised an excellent point, and that point being is that point from the court's perspective is in an age of group texts and other means of communications with multiple recipients at the same time, we certainly have the likelihood of communications between your client and Ms. Reed that may also include members of her defense team. So it is my belief that is what might be at issue, but I will probe further of ADA Cosgrove on that point.
I mean, if you ask me, Your Honor, the pleading, that the impounded pleading filed by Mr. Cosgrove is completely immaterial. The whole reason for this is consciousness of guilt. So there are we're privy to these extractions. There's absolutely nothing in them that is covered by Your Honor's order. There's no communications between Mr. Carney and Ms. Reed regarding witness intimidation. There are none. So there should be exactly zero documents or texts or emails that should be responsive here. Absolutely zero. And I don't have the thumb drive that Mr. Cosgrove gave to the court ex parte. So I can only imagine what's in that, and we are anticipating a request that you will look at that, to ask you to look at that in camera and see if that complies with your order. It can't. It doesn't. It cannot comply with your order. Your order said Carney and Reed, not third parties that may or may not have spoken to Reed, and these are things that are privileged among that team. So this is a can of worms that the court did not open by any stretch. And I think that, Mr. Cosgrove's role here is completely ministerial, Your Honor. And the fact that he's trying to jump outside of your order is incredibly inappropriate, in particular because these two...
I have to agree with you, Blink. It seems like Brennan have already been sifting through all of the information that they took from Aiden's phone. I am just speculating. I have no proof. And they have something that they want to... And in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, just calling a lawyer means you believe you're guilty. So they want to go in there and find some stupid text message where she says, I really didn't like the chicken and parm at D&E's Pizza. And that's a conscience of guilt. It's one big fishing expedition. It's not even just one guy with a fishing pole. It's an entire fishing fleet trawling it's ridiculous. And we know it's ridiculous, and we know what he's doing. And we know he's going to cry to mama if he doesn't get it from this judge.
Prosecutors are in different positions due to a conflict of interest, an express conflict of interest that has been identified and supposedly acted on by District Attorney Michael Morrissey. So their communications need to be limited because there is a conflict. Your Honor limited those communications very appropriately.
Remember, whenever the people who the Commonwealth likes does it, it just means they take care of themselves.
To potential evidence that those two defendants could have communicated in terms of some criminal acts. And we're telling you there's nothing there. We don't expect you to rely on our interpretation, but there is nothing there relative to your order.
Thank
So
you.
the fact that
Attorney Brennan, I'm going to ask you to pause for a moment, and I'm going to hear from Special Assistant District Attorney Cosgrove, specifically with regard to this issue. In your communication to the court, you suggested that in your judgment, the production would sweep in a substantial number of communications between Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed's attorneys. How would those be swept in when the order specifically calls for communications between Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed?
I think the actions of Ms. Reed's attorneys on her behalf are the actions of Ms. Reed. And if one reads the sweep of the communications between Mr. Yannetti and Mr. Kearney, and between Mr. Jackson and Mr. Kearney, and Ms. Reed and Mr. Kearney, one sees a pattern of feedback.
Why does he sound like he's on death's door? And if you see communications between A and B and C and A and D and F and B and G, you see a pattern, which means you have no concrete evidence. You're just making this up. I hate every single lawyer in Massachusetts connected to the Commonwealth. They are such shady parts of the body you sit on. This is how it should go with a judge. Yeah, this is a real judge. Thank you, Jemima.
Information to Mr. Kearney. I think that they act together in that respect, Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney
Even the
Cosgrove.
judge didn't understand that.
Notwithstanding that position, the court's position is that the order spoke very specifically and very clearly to limit the Rule 17 motion to the production of only communications between Defendant Reed and Kearney and Defendant Kearney concerning those three areas of inquiry. So I am specifically...
I don't know what's wrong with their voices. They really are annoying to listen to.
Requesting and ordering the Commonwealth, in that case, to review the documents called as a result of the Rule 17 motion in my subsequent order, such that the production will only include communications between Kearney and Reed.
Well, I will, of course, comply with Your Honor's order.
Thank you. Folks, I think we've covered that point, and I don't think I need to hear any further on this. The order is clear on its face, and I expect the parties to comply with it. I'd like to turn now to the issue of the motion for protective order.
Thank you, Judge. You gave an order. They wanted to go way past the order, and you said, go back. You're only allowed to touch this. See this, Beverly Canoni? That's how you're a judge. These A-wipes wanted to go past the order and try to fish and put in every kind of thing they could find in there to show conscience of guilt. No. You got an order, you stick by the order. You don't go anywhere else. So I'm understanding this right. They can't have the communication because they're all in group chats. Nothing between just Aiden and Karen. if there is anything that's in a group chat, they can't have it. They can have Karen and Aiden's direct communication connected to harassment of witnesses. That's what the order said. It actually said witnesses to the murder, I believe. There was a kind of a typo in there. But they can only give hanky-panky the evidence of Karen and Aiden conspiring to harass witness, which is funny because what do we have? We have a grand jury that said they didn't. But these a-holes tried again to circumvent the justice system. It's horrible, horrible, horrible.
From Mr. Brado. So I'll hear you on this, appreciating that I have had the opportunity to review the attachments and certainly the basis for this, but I'm not. I'll preview where I end up, Attorney Brado. I'm not quite clear on the scope of your request as contained in your draft order. As an initial matter, I'm only issuing an order in the Reed case. This is not a hearing on the Kearney case. I appreciate that you have a congruent request to the court in the Kearney case, and that it may make sense that whatever the court does in that case should follow what the court does in this case. That would seem to make sense. But I'm only hearing the motion as it regards to this case. Your request, I'll note, asks that the court order all prosecutors and police in the above captioned case to maintain the confidentiality of the cell phone data and any other investigative information and or discovery in each case. So I'm not prepared to discuss the entirety of investigative information and all discovery in this case. I am tasked with only addressing Mr. Kearney's specific cell phone data that is the subject of my order of March 20th. But you've specifically requested that the court order that police and prosecutors are ordered to refrain from sharing such information with particular parties identified in Mr. Kearney's affidavit and any other parties not part of the retained prosecution teams of Ms. Reed or Mr. Kearney. Aren't they already under a duty not to share such information with anyone outside the bounds of what you request?
They are, Your Honor. Judge Cannoni specifically found a substantial risk existed that any further communications about the evidence or the witnesses would jeopardize a fair trial. And she made that specific finding, and she imposed, I believe it's a 4-part gag order on the Reed attorneys. Nonetheless, as shown in my exhibits, Judge, these outside people are receiving information that in no way would a prosecution team ever share outside of anything ethically share anyway, any such information. And there's 3 examples of people who are, out there saying we've gotten this, we've gotten that. And we strongly believe that they are doing so. Just to avoid the slight awkwardness, Judge, of me arguing something that benefits Ms. Reed, I would invite, just for the record, the Reed counsel to join me in this motion, Judge, because of the leaks that are going on, just as a threshold matter, if I may do so, Your Honor.
Are you merely asking me to add a belt to Judge Cannoni's suspenders?
I think so, Judge, because we need one, and we need one as to the specific information. These 3 people have repeatedly stated that they're privy to inside information, and with respect to Mr. Kearney's information, although we
muted.
If you don't know who he's talking about, 3 people, it's Yellow Cottage Cheese, it's Krusty, and it's Caffey Daffy. Hey, Valhalla, good morning. Glad to see you.
Good morning, sir. Indeed, thank you. I'm glad I am here.
Yeah, it got shifted an hour, so you got a little more sleep. And everyone, if you want to see the cutest goats ever, I put a link in top of my description, so you can go and follow Valhalla. He does goat streams.
Thank you. Yeah, we got a 24-hour live cam set up in a nursing stall out in the barn. It's a lot of fun. Little baby goats playing and being cute as all get out.
Yeah, everyone named is now on the record, and we know Plevin has leaked information before, claiming he has access. He 2 days ago or 3 days ago wrote, Aiden, if you had connections, you know that it'll trickle down to you from the MSP. I don't have connections at the MSP. Idiot, if it comes from the MSP, it comes from the MSP. It doesn't matter if it goes through one or two hands before it comes to you.
We strongly contend there's nothing in there that is responsive to Your Honor's order. Nothing. To the extent that there's anything that's shared between these two different prosecutors that are on separate islands due to a stated conflict of interest, we want to specifically ensure that as to the discovery that Your Honor's focused on here, that these orders are in place, that there's a specific order. You know, it's sort of another step from Judge Canoni. She said that, well, the general rules of ethics aren't working here, so I'm making a specific finding. I'm giving you a gag order. Well, guess what? Judge Canoni's order didn't work either, based on my exhibits A, B, C, and so we're asking for another step to just really put a fine point on it, that these three people must stay away, and a general order as well as part two.
Plevin is Kevin Leenan. He's a Yellow Cottage Tale, a renowned court TV expert and fiction writer.
Is my part two. And to the extent that those people...
I love in his description of the Karen Reed book, he gets her age wrong because he's such an idiot.
...have any sort of further expressions of leaks in the media or on the internet, I think that ought to be grounds for a live hearing with sworn testimony about these leaks.
Understood. Okay.
So that's why I'm asking, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Brado. Attorney Little, Attorney Yannetti, do you have anything to add on this point?
No, he's not asking for a gag order. He's asking that the Commonwealth stop leaking to these three people, because that's what they're writing in their motion, that they have access, that the Commonwealth have that they shouldn't. They have access to not public information. The rest of us kind of goes by whenever anything is filed. These people can tell you, Plevin broke that the federal investigation into John O'Keefe's murder was done before it was mentioned in court. How did he know?
He apparently announced it before even Brennan claims he knew about it somehow, which I don't believe, but whatever.
Yeah. And make sure you all hit that thumbs down, no matter what. If you say.
We don't. I mean, I think that we generally take no position here. It is concerning to me that Special Assistant District Attorney Cosgrove revealed in a publicly filed motion communications with, or I should say between Mr. Kearney and counsel for the Reed team when the court's order was specific. My understanding is that he omitted some statements of caution and admonitions that we may have given to Mr. Kearney about the nature of demonstrations, etc. So it seems as though he cherry-picked statements in an effort to make us look bad when it was outside the court's order. It was unnecessary.
Attorney Yannetti, are you speaking to something that Attorney Cosgrove has purportedly done in this proceeding in the 117 matter?
No, I believe it's a motion that he filed in his prosecution. Know, again, detailed, that material.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, folks, I will take that matter, the motion for protective order, under advisement, and will endeavor to respond to you as soon as practicable on my decision on that. In the interim, ADA Cosgrove, Special ADA Cosgrove, I'd ask you, how soon do you believe the Commonwealth can reproduce the records in question per my order that are called for by the Rule 17 motion.
Well, I would say we can probably extract from the thumb drive the conversations with Mr. Yannetti and Mr. Jackson.
I'll give an update when they are done, because it doesn't seem like we're going that long.
I may be able to get it done today. I think Monday would probably be a realistic filing date.
Thank you. We'll expect something by close of business Monday, and if you encounter any difficulty or challenges in doing that, just please let the court know, and we'll make whatever accommodations we need to make. Okay, folks.
Your Honor, is that thumb drive going to get returned to the Commonwealth?
Yes, it will.
All right, thank you.
And it has not been viewed, it has not been released, and it is being held under seal and impounded at the moment, and it will be returned to the Commonwealth promptly.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Attorney Brennan.
Your Honor, just for clarity of the record, I'll be brief. There has been no conversations between Special Prosecutor Cosgrove and I about contents of any of these items. In fact, even though I do not think I had to, that's why I filed the Rule 17, so there is a clear public record that we're beyond reproach. Secondly, the pleadings I referred to were pleadings that were filed in Mr. Kearney's case publicly before this issue even came up.
He looks
so
horrible.
It is not divulging information to disseminate to the public. And finally, just so it's crystal clear, I filed a motion for a gag order in Ms. Reed's case because there was significant evidence of distributing protected materials, and that order was allowed at my request. There is no witness or person, as far as I know, in the Reed case that has disseminated any information improperly. I would not allow it or tolerate it if it happened. So
You're so full of
please
shit.
read Aiden Carney's affidavit from yesterday. You're such a lying liar who lies. And what happens to people who prosecute Karen Reed? He's getting the lally haircut.
For real, he looks absolutely horrible. I don't know what's going on with his hair, but he's more gray than he was when we started. And maybe he just didn't put product in his hair today. Maybe that's what the problem is. But he looks terrible. He looks pale.
That's on yours.
I've seen the error of my ways. I am a vile man. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate you, buddy.
I want that to be crystal clear based on the representations we just heard.
Understood. Thank you, Attorney Brennan. Thank you, Attorney Cosgrove. Thank you, counsel. No, we are adjourning the hearing now. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I hope the Reed team joins Aiden's motion.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Stop with that.
Sound like somebody was smacking gum.
It sounds like Jim just closed his pants when he stood up.
Who's that?
Is that the one who bumped into Karen? No, this is the weirdo girlfriend, the one who sits with the picture, who was dating him 20 years ago, John O'Keefe's former girlfriend, right?
I have
Am I
no
getting it
idea
wrong?
who these people are. I have no clue.
Your Honor, why would we discuss the content of the conversation when I read them to my kids at night before going to stain my bathroom towel? Thank you, Brandon. Let's see who it is. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, that's his ex. Why is Tara there? They're wearing blue too. Former girlfriend. That's a very square jaw. Yeah, she looks like she did test in her younger days. She is weird. She dated this guy 20 years ago for a very, very short period of time. And she got his, and this is her boyfriend or husband.
What a bizarre situation.
She's such a martyr, and she's now living for John. And it's so. Is she an ex-wrestler? Well, she has the jaw like a young Hulk Hogan.
So they let Sonny out of jail. Awesome. Awesome.
Thanks for the stream, Brennan Socks. Hey, Val. Thank you, Mama Smith.
Hi, Mama Smith. How you doing?
Yeah, what a creep being being there when she dated John 20 years ago. A lot of weird, jealous chicks who are still obsessed with John. And again, we know that Karen and John got in connection around the coof because he apparently reached out to a lot of old flames, just like me at 2 a.m. And Karen was the one who picked up. This lady didn't come back to him, but all of a sudden, he's the one that got away. Imagine living like that. That's such a weird flex, being the dead guy's girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, well, it's not her husband. Thank you, Melanie's Law. Send her a grifter shirt, Baker. Do you know how much I have to pay for these?
It's hard to get cotton over there in communist Denmark, I hear.
Well, I could just order them too. It's probably cheaper if I ordered them in America and sent them to the expert. Brennan just rolled out of bed in his suit. He looks like he's been on a bender. He looks
horrible. I don't know what the hell he's got going on, but he looks absolutely rough.
I don't know what's wrong with him. Michael Jackson's nose. Yeah.
A little bit.
She looks weird. John's friend, he was an HBO doc and said during pandemic, John messaged many exes, but Karen happened to be the one who answered. Tara Kerrigan is divorced. Thank you so much, Alex. I'm not good at all these. I can't remember all the names. I can remember the main players, but then I get confused. Who's Carrie and who's the weird McLaughlin chick? She's the one who borrows boyfriends, so because she knows nobody, but still sits in hot tubs with the arms around them. Polly Pockets, Power Trip. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Polly Pockets.
And I promised an update for those people who came in late because it's been a short little hearing, roughly an hour. Brennan wanted to go fishing in all the communications between Karen, Aiden, Karen's team, Aiden's team, everyone. And the judge said, I gave a very specific, limited scope you could look at. And he started his weaseling, and he was told, yeah, I'm going to shut you up. Then he asked Cosgrove, who also started saying, well, if you look at what Aiden said and what Karen said and what Brennan said and what Bev said and the guy down on the corner selling cigarettes, it all paints a picture. So they should be allowed to get it. It was denied. Only communications between Aiden and Karen related to witness intimidation was to be turned over to Brennan. Then they wanted a second motion to impound evidence because of all the leaks that have been from the Commonwealth side, and Brennan got really mad. He said he wanted to be crystal clear 3 times that his office didn't leak and he wouldn't stand for it. The same office that can't turn over evidence within months of the dates they're supposed to do it. Yeah, that office is clearly what you trust. And
the same office whose DA put out a promo video acknowledging the witness's good character. That same office? Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. It's just trust me, bro. Trust me. Ipsy Dixit. And
exactly.
For those of you who are thinking, we are going to start with witness selection the 1st of April. What should I do with my time? Number 1 new release in criminal evidence, it changed what it is a few times, is the Karen Read murder trials, Storm of Suspicion, the trial of the decade. Decades? Isn't that apostrophe, decades?
The trials of the decade.
Oh, it's a funny bunny, yes. Okay. As examined by court TV expert Kevin Lenihan, who is...
He's an expert now? Now he's an expert?
Yeah, he's a court TV expert.
That dude streams out of an attic in his parents' house. What do you mean he's an expert?
Hey. I can't get on court TV.
That's fair. I can't either. Not that I've tried, but, you know.
But if you want to read it, it's Storm of Suspicion, the Karen Read murder trial, yes, because he forgot to put It's not that well formatted in ChatGPT. An electrifying real-time courtroom thriller and a gripping personal account of author Kevin Lenihan's detailed examination of the evidence. His personal account. I was looking at my screen, looking at the evidence.
That's exactly it. He's got nothing to do with this case other than he's been grifting off of it just like all of us.
Yeah, he's just a massive grifter. Now well, when I looked it up the first day, it was $6.43. Now it's $9.49 for the Kindle version and $34 for the hardcover. At least the hardcover you can use as TP after. Both known and what he discovered. If he discovered it, it must be known. It can't be unknown if he discovered it. As well as the dark rumors, courtroom bombshells, and conspiracy theories that are at the heart of two of the most explosive and controversial murder trials of the decade. Well, we don't know because the second one hasn't happened yet. The case began in the midst of a massive snowstorm on 2022 and ended the first time in a mistrial. Now, more than 2 years later, it is poised to ignite in a Boston courtroom once again. Small mistake. It's not in Boston. Plevin didn't really fact check.
Close.
It's close. It's a suburb. At question is whether Karen Reed, a 43-year-old college professor, who is 45, is responsible as charged for the cold-blooded murder of her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, a Boston police officer, ? Or was she framed by the real killer, another cop, covering his track with the help of a corrupt law enforcement establishment? In Storm of Suspicion, Lenihan, the court TV expert commentator in the case, breaks down the key evidence and shocking conspiracy theories from the first trial. Then he does a deep dive into how the new trial will be fought by both sides, as well as in the court of public opinion, with new revelations, unanticipated twist, and a storm of suspicion. I can't wait to get this book because I have been told by my mods that I have to make a review of it.
Don't buy that book. Don't do that.
Why advertise for this third? If you didn't catch it, it was very ironic, whatever I said. And I made fun of him making few mistakes, getting her age wrong, claiming it's in Boston. Plevin is the king of grifters. He is an idiot. That's all I can say. And he claims that it'll have... He didn't put it... maybe he's been in there, and I saw somewhere he wrote, there will be a POV chapter by Karen Reed. Or a chapter in the POV of Karen Reed. So Karen Reed is writing a chapter in Plevin's book? I doubt it. In Denmark, that would be illegal to put in advertising. He's such an idiot. I'm going to put in a plug for Brandy's podcast. Way better than this book grifter. Check out Conspiracy in Clanton. No one should ever buy Plevin's book. I will buy it, I will read it, and I will review it. No one should ever, even if you hate someone enough to buy this book, don't do it. And you can't hate people enough. My mods hate me. That's why I have to read this book.
Wild Justice Obsessed is commented up there. If you want like actual fact-based information, Brandy is amazing, and you should go check her out. She's got tenfold the amount of facts that Plevin thinks he has.
Plevin is probably the greatest fiction writer ever. No one should touch anything Plevin says or does. You have to commend him. He has 700 people watching his weirdo streams where he sits with crusty panties and other weirdos and just say, "Oh, she's guilty. She's guilty. She's guilty." So if you hate yourself, still don't buy this book. If you hate your neighbors, don't buy this book. Don't ever. I will do it. I will make a review, and I'll do an honest review. If it's well written, if he doesn't make up 200 different super stupid stories, I will also say that. But I will also fact check him. I can't read it to you live because that will be breaking copyright, but I will if there are sentences and stuff in there that is so fake. I will in my review, because I can use parts of it, I will fact check him. And maybe have my mods help me because they are smart people. Abacus Finch. Baker will make more money reviewing Plevin's book than Plevin will make off the book himself. Yeah, but I will also spend more money to get all the liquor I need to get through that book. It's 335 pages. Oh, sorry,
Holy
355 pages.
Holy crap.
I believe it's 354 pages about how great Plevin is, and then one page saying, yeah, there was a court case too. Am I the only one who wants to hear the voicemail with Caffey Daffer? I want to hear all of it. I want to hear all communication that happened in between the Commonwealth and those people. I want to hear those letters that was sent to the Commonwealth anonymously. I want to see those as well.
It's exciting.
You should write a book fact-checking his. Well, I'm already at chapter 3 in my own book.
I have a weird question for you that's completely off the Karen Reed topic. But if you were to read Plevin's book, what would you call page 93 translated from Danish to English?
From Danish to English, 93.
Yeah. Sorta, right? Isn't it? Doesn't it actually say something different though? It's like 4/20 by half or something.
Oh, if you want to,
yeah,
93,
which means
3.5 fives.
How does that make any sense?
I don't know.
I just discovered this the other day. Apparently, Danes, instead of saying 9/10 for 93, they it's like 4.5 fives and something crazy.
Yeah. 3.5 fives or something like that. I don't know what fims is. You don't think about it when you hear it. It's the same if you speak French. They also have a weird way that's 20 times something to say 80.
Yeah, I caught a short the other day. It made me laugh. I figured I'd have to ask you about it immediately.
I wonder if you left the comment, Karen Reed wearing the same sexy outfit that she had on the night before. I think that guy is a weirdo. And I think, yeah. Caffey Daffer said she saw text messages. She blocks replies on her X account. Yeah, that's, if you go and read Aiden's motion from yesterday, I actually have it. I can pull it up right quick, I think. No, I don't have it. It was on X. Did I save it or did I unmark it again? No, I of course removed it. But Aiden mentions that they claim they saw text messages. They claim a lot of stuff, and that's why Brennan is standing there saying, "Well, I believe that I was the one who asked for the order to protect, so we didn't do anything, and I wouldn't allow it." Well, I don't give 2 cents about what you would allow because Proctor withhold evidence, and you claim that was okay. You should have been up and announced and said, "Sorry, we did a Brady violation. I will recuse myself."
I thought for a minute this judge was about to lay the smackdown on Brennan this morning.
He has a weird way of talking, this judge. It sounds like, oh, well, he's going to fly off the handle, and then 2 seconds later, he's just like, oh, nothing. Yeah. That's all? Brian McHugh, welcome from Scotland. We have a few other Scots hanging around, and I like that we have our South Africans in the house today. I saw Gerda Case. He's from South Africa as well.
Nice. Welcome in, y'all. We're international, man.
Coffin Hanger stated she saw the jury wearing her dress and saw it with her own eyes. How? She was never in trial. So how does she know? How does Plevin know about Juror A?
Good question.
That's another good question. Brandon has 29%. That's not a lot, Brandon.
It's like 5/2/6 or something.
Yeah, five half fives. Something. No, I'm not streaming this one to Rumble because I have another stream set up and Rumble is stupid, so I would have to take one down to set another one up. You can't have two streams on Rumble. So you have to live with me on YouTube for this one. Did you notice how the judge matched Cosgrove's tone when he spoke to him? I noticed that I liked that he just cut them off when Brennan was about to go into one of his I'm so enraged speeches and just said, get out of here. And for anyone who is...
Yannetti speak at the end there.
I don't know why he didn't let Yannetti speak now.
Yeah,
they are still out on a hike. They were supposed to be out for 90 minutes. So they started at 9. They should have been back.
Was that for your other case?
Yeah, I'm. It's in another courtroom in the same courthouse.
Oh, really?
Doctor who unalived his wife.
Yikes!
You mute everyone, so. Can someone explain the Swaysher law? I know what corner kiss is. Well, Swaysher law is really easy. I have it on video.
It's awesome. It's really awesome.
Okay. Do you remember any description as far as the size of these men?
Yeah, I remember the size of them. I know I could tell by the Swaysher who the one was, by meeting him different times up there at Paula's. I knew Swaysher is, get that word right, Swaysher?
Okay. I don't know what that word means, so I'm sorry.
Oh, his style, his walk, his talk.
Okay.
That is where Swaysher comes from. It's from the Tyrone Treehouse case about a guy who, he got a hung jury and they ended the case. But someone robbed a meth den and then killed another guy. And then they had Roger, this guy, up there testifying because he liked to smoke a little rock. He didn't touch the devil's letters, and that's why
that stuff's bad for you.
Devil's letters, stay away from it.
Yeah.
Rocks,
stuff's bad for you.
No medical. But he liked to drink Bud Light and smoke rock. And he invented the word Swaysher. No one really knows what it is, but... as you can see, I also have that put on my wall somewhere. And on my merch. Jessica has 7% Swaysher. Not great on a Friday.
That's bad. You want way more on a Friday going into the weekend. You gotta up your Swaysher game.
You're so nice. Thank you, Nightbot. I like you.
I feel like there was something else I was going to mention while we were here.
Yeah, Bud Light is a bridge too far. Do you know what I really want? I want this judge.
The most important people in this case that everybody seems to have forgotten in this room is the jury. So we're going to take a 15-minute break and both sides take a pregnant pause and think about the jury.
He was so mad.
He was so mad. Imagine if he was on this case. Woo! I would be great.
He'd be losing his mind. What is happening with my lights? I don't like anything.
I don't know. It's in camera. You need to fix that. Brennan did not think he had to file motion, but did so for Rule 17. I haven't seen if there's new motions filed today, so I have to see what, if any. Oh, there's actually quite a few motions. 642 new discovery from ARCA by the defendant. Hank's affidavit. I love how Marissa describes it. Blah, blah. Hanky affidavit lighting his own pants on fire. Hanky wants to remedy the defendant's repeated Rule 14 violations regarding the ARCA witnesses. They've already said they didn't need to come in before trial, but Hanky is being a piss poor sport about it. Little's affidavit, nothing important here. Defendant asking for instant discovery, re housekeeping matters, contracts with experts, undisclosed prior bad acts, etc. might be interesting to read. We will do that. What was the one? 641. Maybe that's.
Oh, that's hilarious. Ipsy Dixit says, I forgot who, but someone created a web link for his book that takes you to the donation page for Karen Reed.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's hilarious.
Let's see what it is. Marissa said, Hanky Panky's pants on fire. My name is Hank Brennan. I have been appointed special prosector. I began my permit. The Commonwealth sought and obtained a court order for discovery pertaining the ARCA witnesses on December 5th, 2024. The Commonwealth has repeatedly informed the defense and the court that it believes the Rule 14 and court-ordered discovery has not been satisfied. On March 20th, Attorney Yannetti disclosed to the court that he had... I'm dyslexic, and this is my third language. How can I English better than the Commonwealth? Disclosed to the court that he had received a subpoena from the United States Attorney's Office to produce his entire case file. The Commonwealth was unaware of this information because they were looking into you, you idiot. Additionally, the Commonwealth has no idea what Attorney Yannetti provided to the United States Attorney's Office, nor does the Commonwealth know what was provided to the ARCA experts other than what is listed in the group ARCA report. Well, he did tell you that he turned over everything he got from you. After court on March 25th, the defense disclosed that the subpoena Attorney Yannetti was referring to was an ongoing federal subpoena. The Commonwealth now understands that the defense has been providing all discovery to the USAO in an ongoing manner, all material outlined in the Commonwealth's Notice of Discovery 1 through Notice 57. On March 25th, the Commonwealth learned that the defense may ask ARCA to engage in further review, analysis, or testing, which could result in further discovery. Discovery deadlines has passed. Well, you have filed after and turned over evidence after. The Commonwealth will not be able to fairly prepare its expert witnesses for new material testing or opinions. The Commonwealth will not be able to prepare for new opinions beyond the previous provided report. The Commonwealth cannot adequately prepare for trial without all court-ordered and Rule 14 discoveries.
He's still turning over discovery after the first trial. Like, he drives me crazy, you guys. This dude is an absolute snake. He is the worst kind of human being. He really wants that.
Let's see what
ARCA stuff out.
Let's see what the notice of reciprocal discovery regarding ARCA witnesses. Defendant hereby submits the following notice of reciprocal discovery regarding ARCA witness. Request 1. A complete statement of all opinions to be expressed by Daniel Wolf and Andrew Rensler, and the basis and reasons for each opinion. This information in the possession, custody, and control of the defense has already been produced and can be found in the ARCA report, voir dire testimony, and trial testimony of Dr. Wolf and Dr. Rensler. All notes, reports, and materials relied upon either by witness, upon either witness. I don't know. For reviewing this specific case, request for materials is not limited to the expert's report. The Commonwealth is requesting all materials relied upon in review, even if the materials are not part of the expert's report and opinion on trial. All materials reviewed by Dr. Wolf and Dr. Rensler were listed in the ARCA report. The United States Attorney Office formally authorized the defense to independently retain ARCA and produce additional discovery to the experts for their review on March 26. That same day, the defense provided additional material to ARCA, including Welch's report for potential rebuttal testimony. All material were immediately produced to the Commonwealth in reciprocal. I don't know why this word, I can't read it. Reciprocal discovery. Request 3. A copy of all materials provided to ARCA Daniel Wolf, Andrew Rensler, or any representatives of the U.S. State's Attorney's Office by any member of this defense team or by the United States Attorney's Office. The request includes all materials, including written, documentary, video, witness statements, and witness produced. All materials provided to ARCA by the defense have been produced in reciprocal discovery. A copy of the grand jury subpoena issued by the United States Attorney's Office to Attorney David Yannetti dated November 22nd, demanding production of all materials produced in discovery to date by the Commonwealth and Commonwealth v. Karen Reed, case number blah, as well as all relevant investigative material was produced to the Commonwealth in reciprocal discovery. Pursuant to that subpoena, the defense produced a discovery included in Notice of Discovery 1-47 to the United States Attorney's Office on October 22nd, 2024. The defense provided the United States Attorney's Office with discovery relating to the vehicle reconstruction for the Department of Justice's determination regarding whether to provide this information in turn to the ARCA expert. The defense understanding is that this information was not provided to ARCA, Dr. Wolf, and or Dr. Rensler by the United States Attorney's Office. A copy of the specific information produced to the United States Attorney's Office on October 22nd relating to the reconstruction was produced to the Commonwealth in reciprocal discovery. Based on our best efforts and reasonable review of the files, all additional information relevant to this request was produced to the United States Attorney's Office by the defense was provided to the Commonwealth in the federal materials both sides received from the federal government pursuant to our mutual TUI request in February of 2024. The defense's understanding is the only discovery materials produced to ARCA by the USAO was the materials listed in the ARCA report. All materials provided to either witness after the conclusion of the defendant's first trial. All materials provided to Dr. Wolf and Dr. Rensler after the conclusion of the defendant's trial has been produced. Describe and produce any exhibit to be used as a summary or support of the opinion. All exhibits, including any exhibits necessary for rebuttal of Welch's testimony, have been produced. Described all compensation paid to either expert for all work done regarding this case, including case preparation, testimony, travel, and expenses. The only funds paid to ARCA to date is the $27,606.41 detailed in the invoice previously produced to the Commonwealth in reciprocal discovery. On March 26, the defense retained ARCA for the second trial. A copy of that retainer agreement and rate sheet was produced to the Commonwealth. Provide any contract agreements or documents relative to Daniel Wolf, Andrew Rensler, or ARCA discussing compensation relative to the case. All information responsive to this request has been produced. Provide all written communications, including emails and text messages between any member of the defense team and employees of ARCA. All information has been produced. Provide copies of all testing not previously disclosed, including crash tests, video reenactments, and any other testing materials and result, regardless of whether the witness will testify to the information at trial. All information in the possession, custody, and control of the defense has been produced to the extent additional testing is conducted in furtherance of rebutting the testing conducted by Aperture LLC. That information will be produced forthwith. Provide all written communication, including emails and text messages between the United States Attorney's Office and employees of ARCA. All information in the possession, custody, and control of the defense has been produced. Provide all communication by the USAO and any member of the defense team as it pertains to the expert testimony in this case, including dates, substance of phone calls, copies of any written correspondence, dates of any strategy meetings, and list of material received from the USAO. All communications responsive to this request have been produced. The TUI materials received by the defense from the USO in February 24 are identical to the TUI materials produced to the Commonwealth. Provide a copy of all written requests that have been made by the defense team pursuant to 28 CF 8, 21, etc. TUI regulations relative to either expert or ARCA. All TUI requests relating to Dr. Wolf, Dr. Rensler, and ARCA have been produced. So again, a big old fishing expedition to see if he can find something to cry to mama about.
That's all it is. He's desperately trying to get ARCA out of this case. because it's detrimental. Like, you can't argue it, right? Especially now that the investigation is over, they're going to be able to say who Arca is, and it's just going to crush their entire case.
For the laugh and the love, Baker, I'd visa marry you any day, but I'm an Aussie. I would argue coming here is safer than the US currently.
There's a lot of snakes down there. A lot of snakes.
Have you been outside? Everything in Australia, well, Australia, we all know it's a dome in Ohio, is trying to kill you. From drop bears to snakes to great white sharks.
Have you ever seen how big those saltwater crocodiles get? Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable how big those things are. You just disappear. There'd be nothing left.
Usually love your commentary, but let's not comment on women appearance, please. John's weird ex-girlfriend has enough character flaws to criticize. Well, I don't know if it's too bad to say she had quite a square jaw. But
she's got a squarer jaw than I do, that's for sure.
Don't wish it away. Don't look at it like it's forever between you and me. I could honestly say that things can only get better than advertisement. And I guess that's why they call it the blues. Time viewing ads could be time spent with you laughing like children, living like lovers, rolling like thunder under the covers.
All right.
Brennan is quite the poet today.
I think it was a song.
Oh.
And I
It's
guess
a song?
that's why they call it the blues.
Oh, that's okay.
I think that's what he was going for there.
Hey, Stace. You'll catch up.
Stace. It is Elton John. It is.
I love swimming with the sharks. That's why I don't believe Australia is a real country. Because no one is weird enough that they want to go swim with sharks. Well, Pernilla does it, but she's Swedish. Don't forget spiders. Everything is venomous in the dome called Australia. Exactly.
It's a dangerous place. It's scary there. We don't.
It's Elton John. I'm not a big Elton John fan.
Liar.
Well, I like Nikita. You never know. And it's the circle of life. Have they decided if Arca being hired by feds can be mentioned in court yet? I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I don't know how they can keep it out at this point.
Well,
then again, Bev.
Then why is Arizona not a state? Because everything in Arizona tries to kill you. I don't believe anyone would live in a place where people where you die if you go outside for more than a minute a day. It's just not real.
Heat. Yeah, the heat tries to get you in Arizona.
If not friend, why friend-shaped?
Danger noodles.
Someone said that they wanted all women's appearances to be assessed in a jocular,
I think,
condescending fashion. I'm sorry.
I got nothing. I got nothing, Brandon.
Brandon used $5 words on his $5 super chats, and I don't understand them.
Is that even the right word?
But thank you so much, Brandon. British in Australia, it's 2:24 a.m. currently.
Oh, it is
Hope
the right
everything.
word.
And Kerry says, thank you for the gifted membership, Tracy. Yeah, thank you so much, Tracy, for all the gifted memberships. $20 says the feds haven't ended their investigation into the DA's office. If you go back and read that disclosure from, was it Rafferty who wrote it? It says that they were being authorized to say that the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe has ended. But that doesn't mean that they can't look at Morrissey or the Canton PD or the MSP. It's only the death of John O'Keefe. And they could have determined that the death of John O'Keefe was just, did Karen Reed do it? Which I find is weird. Why would the feds even try and figure out if she did it? Because it's not a federal case. To me, that sounds like they were looking at more stuff.
Well, if they were investigating the death, it's not because they thought it was Karen that did it. It's because they thought it might have been somebody else. Weird.
I just don't know how all the Aussies survive. It's because it's just CGI. Australia isn't a real place. It's just a dome in Ohio where they put some people with a weird accent. And then they painted a lot of dangerous animals and water around it and said, oh, you live on an island. That's why no one lives in the middle of Australia, because you can't get there. It doesn't exist. It's just facts.
I need
Maybe John was working with the feds. No proof of that so far.
But they wouldn't tell us if he was, right? Like that's the other thing is the feds aren't going to tell us everything that they found in the investigation, especially if they're still investigating. So it's a catch-22.
Yeah, I've seen coconut crabs. They are horrible.
Ginormous crabs.
It's because we're used to it, and because we go places with no shoes, we have tough feet. Chris Mullen, what is it? 8 out of the 10 most dangerous snakes lives in Australia.
Yeah, something like that. It's pretty dramatic.
I understand why every bartender in Irish pubs is an Australian. I would flee too.
I think I got the right cord finally, Baker, for my second monitor. I think I got the right cord today. So, like after this stream, I'll have 2 monitors. I'm very excited about it.
You're getting so fancy.
I'm telling you, man. It's almost like I'm doing this YouTube thing for real.
Everyone, if you didn't already, please go subscribe to Valhalla. He does goat cams, and it's not a euphemism. Australia is the set of the Hunger Games. Captain skid marks, I agree.
I like it.
Brennan looks terrible, coming from the man bun guy. Smack my hiney, I agree that he does, but your man bun bothers me much more because you look like a man girl.
I don't know if it's a man bun exactly with the dreads. I don't know if that still counts as a man bun. But point taken. Understood. Valid criticism.
All the bartenders in Spain were Irish. Yeah, and all the bartenders in Ireland are Australian. What is this hearing for? This hearing was about the communications between Karen Reid and Aidan Carney, that they wanted to just go on a big old fishing expedition in Aidan's phones, and the judge said, I gave you a very, very, very narrow path you could take. So, a good judge for once. What the hell's going on with that case? Oh, they left at 9:45-ish. So an hour, that's 10:45. That's 11:15, so they should be home soon. Sorry, that's for the Dr. Turk case. We will switch over to... because I need a bio break, so I think I'll redirect to my Dr. Turk stream while I do a bio break, and then we'll come back and follow that. If you are such inclined, I will redirect you to that stream in a bit. I went to Fleet Week in Australia. Secrets to be revealed on the Drunk Red Rum stream. Interesting.
I am going to redirect to a new goat stream from here because I have to set up a new one anyway because I'm approaching the 12-hour mark.
No, the viewing is today, but Monday they will get the schedule for the rest of the time because they're only going to one today, and I believe Monday. I don't mind bears, but how can you live with the insanely big spiders in Australia? And it's not even the big spiders that's the dangerous ones. It's the little a-holes that lives in your pool. Traffic in Boston on Fridays is a nightmare. Yeah, but if they took if it says they left at 9:45-ish, so they should have been home like 15 minutes ago. Get everyone back in the courtroom, have a smoke break, push Lally aside because he's standing out there with his carton that he has to go through every time he has a break. So, yeah. Depends on how it comes in. How bad does Brennan want their payment to be announced? Surely people won't believe 23,000 won't pay professionals to do that kind of investigation, travel report, and expenses. If you ask for it, they can say, well, we only got paid, the defense team only paid this. So, yeah. I saw one of the Hemsworth brothers, and he lives in the Dome. And he came into his kid's bedroom to put him to sleep, and there was like a big black snake in there. And I was like, nope. That's a burned house, and then you start over. Because where there's one, there's always more.
That's not exactly how that works, but okay.
That's exactly how it gets work. Do your goats keep them away, or?
No, the cats do. So the cats eat the rodents. Without the rodents, the snakes have no purpose to be in the barn. So having as many cats as I do has actually cut down on both rodents and snakes, which I'm okay with. Valkyrie Begins commented a little bit up there.
93.
We talked about it already.
93. But fems isn't a word. That's like fives.
Well, it's Danish. None of it's
3.5 fives.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
None.
But we just say it because we don't think about it, because we write it like you write it. So that's just what it is.
It's weird.
Yes, I mentioned this before we started today. The cause of death will not be left out because Scotty Bellow will be on the stand, and they can just ask her, and then it's up to Special Prosecutor Brennan to salvage that, which will be interesting if you can do that, because then you can ask, could you be pressured to change your statement, or did anyone try that? Because we have special prosecutors, not special prosecutor, we have former Trooper Proctor who stated that you're an amateur if you can't change your mind. That's, yeah. It's crazy seeing those cat-snake fights. Cats are so freaking fast.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
you have the little, the ones in India that goes after the cobras.
The mongoose.
Mongoose. They are crazy.
Yeah, those things are gnarly.
But I'm gonna redirect you over to the Dr. Turk. If you wanna watch that with me, Valhalla's gonna redirect to it Goat stream. I need a short bio break, and then I'll be back, and we will follow the last hour and a half in the Dr. Turk stream if they ever start. So thank you all so much for dropping by. Please do all the YouTube thing, especially go to Valhalla and help a brother out.
Yeah.
If you're one of the cupcakes, thank you so much for joining us for this one. Thank you so much for the super chats and the gifted memberships. We will see all of you over on the Dr. Turk trial if you want to join that one. Hopefully it'll get, we won't have a witness that's quite as annoying as that lady yesterday. She couldn't answer a question. She had to tell a story. I don't like those witnesses.
If you're coming with me to the Goat stream, give me 2 seconds to set it up. I got to close out the other Goat stream still, but it's coming in just a couple minutes.
If Val promptly leaves the Goat stream, I'm out.
Well. Too bad. How you like them apples?
I was bitten from a brown recluse in Arizona. Ooh.
Yikes. We had a guy in basic training get bit on the face by a brown recluse. They took him out of the field immediately. He was at risk of having like most of his face fall off.
Yeah, it goes necrotic,
necrosis,
right?
Yeah. Gross.
Thank you, Alexa, and
appreciate it.
Everyone should also go check her out. She has some great videos on.
She does
as well.
Alexa's room. She absolutely does.
I call her Alexa's room, but is it Alexa or? Yeah, it is.
I think so. Alexa's room. That's how I've been pronouncing it.
Yeah, 90 tuna, but we don't use tuna anymore.
5 times 20 equals 90.
Yeah, but back in the day, you would say 90 tuna, but today you'll just say 90. So you'll just say half fives. It's weird.
See, we had it right. It is Alexa's room.
Yeah, but I don't know why I'm here. Yeah, you still need the 20 to make it make sense, but we don't say it anymore. Book Hermit, if you're talking about the Turk trial, I will start that stream with a recap. Now I need my bio break. And Valhalla needs his morning monster.
The second one.
Love you all. Thank you all for stopping by. Do all the things that everyone tells you. You know what to do. Bye.
Love.
What exhibit are you referring to? I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor. All right. 100.
100.
Because it is 100%
100%.
correct.
Objection, Your Honor.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All
right, I'm in love. Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't have cared.
You wouldn't have cared?
No.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.
So there-
Everybody has.